Hello students, this is Shweta Roy. This video is for Chapter 4 Civics Part 1 Key Elements of a Democracy. In this video, we are going to discuss about participation, accountability, resolution of conflict, equality and justice. These are some of the important topics which we are going to cover in this video. So here we will start with the key elements of a democracy. As we have already read, democracy is a form of government in which people are supreme. In this form of government, people give the government power to make decisions and enforce laws. Now, the modern democracy is representative democracy. What is the meaning of representative democracy? Representative democracy means that people do not rule directly. They elect their representatives who make decisions on their behalf. Now there are number of elements which influence the functioning of the government, like participation, accountability, and serious concern for social, economic, and political equality and justice. So we are going to read about these key elements which actually influence the functioning of a government, of a democratic government. So we will read about this in this chapter. So here we have the topic participation. So the meaning of participation in a democracy is the people's participation in the decision making process. How people participate in the decision making process. If any decision is taken, how the people participate in this. So there are various ways by which people participate in this decision making process. They participate through election. Also there are other ways of participation. As we discussed that people do not directly participate in the decision making process. As you know that India is a vast country, there are so many people and every person is having their own opinion. So if everyone will be directly participating in this process, it is not possible to come on the same decision. Everyone will have their own decision. So it is not possible to for the people to directly participate in the decision making process. So what they do, they choose their representatives through an election process. Voting is done and through the voting the leaders are elected. Now these leaders, these representatives, they take decision on the behalf of entire population. When they are taking the decision, when they are taking decision on behalf of entire population, they have to think about the voices and the interest of the people, what their people demand, what is the interest of the people, what the people want. Those things should be there while taking the decision. So a representative, a leader has to keep all these things in his mind when he is making a decision. So like this, people participate in the decision making process in a democracy through their representative. Now the government which is elected, they are elected for a fixed period, and that period is 5 years. So a government is elected for 5 years, and if this government wants to continue, if they want to be in power, then there will be election and their members have to be re-elected by the people. So on every 5 years election will be there, and people have the power to elect their government. So if the government is working according to their wish, according to what the people want, according to the people's interest, the people will elect them in the next election. And if the representatives, the leaders are not satisfying the people, or the people is not satisfied with the working of government, they may not vote for it, and like this the government, the leaders will lose their power. So like this regular election which is conducted on every 5 years, it restricts the power of the government by bounding them to work according to their interest and their demand, and it increases the people's participation in a democracy. So if government is working according to the people's interest, they will choose them in the next election, they will vote for them in the next election, and the government will have their power, the leaders will have their power. And if the leaders are not working and not satisfying the people will throw them out of the government, they will not vote for them, and like this their leaders may lose their power. So like this the peoples are putting a restriction on the power of government through election. Now there are some other ways of the participation also. People can participate in this by criticizing it. They can criticize the government. If government is not working according to the expectation of the people, they can criticize it. How they can show their views, how can they express their views, how can they tell the government that I am not satisfied? So there are some of the actions by which people can show their discontent and disagreement with the government, or they can criticize the government. What are they? They are dharnas, rallies, protest marches, signature campaigns, strikes, also media. So by doing these things, by using media, by doing dharna, rallies, protest march, signature campaigns and strikes, people can show their disagreement and discontent to the government. They can tell the government that we are not happy with you, we are not satisfied with you. So like this also they can put restriction on the power of government. So these all freedom is there in the democracy, and like this people can participate in the decision making process. Now, like this, if you see the newspapers, magazines, TV, radio, computer, etc., they play an important role in discussing government issues and responsibilities. Also, they provide the information of national and international level, and also the people can exchange their views. And like this, they are helpful in creating public opinion. And by this public opinion, people can strongly express their desires and grievances. How? For example, some months ago, the government increased the prices of LPG and CNG gas for cooking and public transportation. LPG is used for cooking and CNG is used for public transportation. So government increased the prices of LPG and CNG. People expressed their disapproval very sharply by organizing rallies, signature campaign, etc. So government tried to defend its decision, but finally they reduced it to a nominal increase. So like this, if you see, the government changed its decision because it is responsible to the people. The government in a democratic like a democratic government has to defend its decision, and they have to explain their actions to the people. But if we see the condition, actually all the section of the people are not able to participate in the decision making process. Why? Because most of the people in India are illiterate, ignorant, and unorganized. Then we have women, Dalits, and Adivasis, and the minority communities. They also do not involve in this decision making process. But how they can do this? They can do this by organizing themselves into the social movements that keep vigil on the government and its functioning. So, if the people of a country are alert and interested in the functioning of the government, the democracy in that country will be stronger, because democracy is the government of people. The people are supreme in this government. So if the people are vigilant, they are alert, they democracy will be stronger. They can criticize the government, they can act on the actions of the taken by the government, and like this they can restrict the power of the government. So it is very true, very truly said that democracy is based upon the conviction that there are extraordinary possibilities in ordinary people. Alert and vigilant citizens can improve the quality of democracy. As we saw in the case of LPG and CNG price increased, the people were alert and government at last decreased the reduced the nominal increase. They changed their decision because the people were vigilant and they were alert. Now next topic is accountability. So a democratic government is accountable to its citizen or voters. Whatever decisions or actions they have done, they are responsible for that. They have to explain their decisions or actions whenever people ask. They cannot say no. They have to explain. Also, the government has to be sensitive towards people because the people only elect them and they only given them power, and they can also take that back by not electing them next election. So people judge the effectiveness of the government through its ability to fulfill their needs. Next topic is resolution of conflict. So when conflict arises, basically generally the conflict arises when people of different religions, languages, reasons, caste, culture, gender and economic backgrounds do not value each other. If some of them are feeling that I am superior and others are inferior, this kind of situation comes. Also, some of the people can feel that they are being discriminated. So, in that case, a group may think that it is alright to use force to settle their differences. So, in that case, the conflict can lead to violence and loss of lives and properties. As we already discussed that India is country of diversities, many different people are there. So those different peoples are having unique cultures, unique food habits, unique traditions. So these differences are sometimes celebrated, but not every time celebrated. These differences may lead to disagreement among the people. Different people may have their different opinions and they may disagree with the others. So in that case, conflict can arise. Now, religious processions often lead to conflicts. Especially the route of the religious processions, the slogans of the processions creates tension in the society. Rivers, water and dams, they also create conflict between states in India. Now this rivers starts origin in one state, they flow through another state, and they end in some different state. So like this, the sharing of the river water becomes an issue of conflict. Like the Kaveri water dispute is there between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The Krishna river water dispute is there between Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. Ravi Bees water dispute is there between Punjab and Haryana with Rajasthan. So like this, we are having river water issues, and they may arise conflict between the states. In this type of situation, government have to find solution to the disputes or conflicts. So in this case, if there is religious disputes, so in that case, first of all, the police will find out the representative of that concerned community, and they will try to find out a solution. Also, the people is responsible for ensuring that violence does not take place. And if the matter goes to court, it gives the final judgment. Like it happened in the Ram Janmabhoomi and Babri Masjid dispute. Now, when there is case of river water dispute, the central government takes various steps to ensure that a fair distribution of water should be there for the states. Now, many interstate water dispute tribunals has been set up by the government. In this, we have Kaveri Water Dispute Tribunal in June 1990, Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal in April 1969, Godavari Water Dispute Tribunal in April 1969, Narmada Water Dispute Tribunal in October 1986, and Ravi Bees Water Dispute Tribunal in April 1986. So these were some of the tribunals set up by the government to resolve the disputes. Now the conflicts which arises, that must be resolved according to the laws of the land. That means the laws which is there in the constitution, and the constitution lays down the basic rules or laws that have to be followed by everyone. Now then we have the topic equality and justice. So equality and justice are the central theme of democracy, and both these terms are inseparable. Actually, this equality is the precondition that ensures justice to all the people of a society or country. As you know, India is the country of diversity, and we have different types of inequality in India, like social inequality, gender inequality, income inequality. So many inequalities exist in India. If we talk about the social inequality, we have an example of untouchability. There were the group of peoples which were considered as untouchables, and they were denied education, transport, medical facilities, even the chance to offer prayers in temple They were not allowed in temples. So this kind of social inequality exists in our country. Also, if we say in our society, there is a gender tendency to value and care for the boy child more than the girl child. That means the boy child gets more importance, more care, more value than a girl child. So these type of inequalities exist in our society. So for this, our government has taken various actions so that people should be treated equally. We will discuss about them. So the government has made special provisions for the groups within the society which face inequality. The law prescribed punishment for people who practice untouchability. Untouchability was abolished as per our constitution. If anyone is practicing this untouchability, it is punishable. To uplift the social and economic status of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, certain percentage of seats have been reserved for them in Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha, and the local bodies like Panchayat, as well as government services. So you have reservation for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Also, special provisions have been made to prevent female ferticides. To promote gender equality, many state governments have waived or lowered fee for girl students in government schools and colleges. So like this, government introduce the laws and schemes so that equality can be there in the society. All the people can be treated equal. I hope you all understood all the topics taught in this video. Thank you.